just a beautiful day. It is November 1st, and I'd love to share with y'all what's growing here in our container garden. And so everything's just been doing great. We've been having a little bit of cold temperatures, dipping kind of into the mid to high 30s at night. Lately though, it has warmed up quite a bit, so we're experiencing high 40s, maybe even 50 at night. Not really going over 70 degrees though during the day. Anyway, I have been doing a lot of work out here since my last little tour of this garden, and as you can see here, the cabbage is great. I like to clip a few of these leaves for curries, and so that's been doing fine. And then I've been clipping a lot of this French crisp lettuce for lettuce wraps. That's my new favorite thing to do right now. Just loving the lettuce wraps. I'll put maybe some blackened shrimp in there with them, some cilantro, a little sliced cucumber. Maybe I'll use some taco seasoned meat with cilantro and like a sriracha sauce. Just really good. And I don't feel real heavy and tired after I eat that either because it's so low carb. And anyway, so the cilantro is doing really nice too. And then the carrots are just taking off. I'll harvest those probably next spring. I would say March or April. Okay, now I have this nasturtium plant that's hanging in there. You can see the pollinators have just been loving this because there's not much flowering right now. Okay, now a lot of my nasturtiums though have succumbed to those night temperatures. I did not cover the green stalks when it was getting into the high 30s, mid 30s, something like that, and so after several nights of that, I lost a lot of the nasturtium plants, but everything else, you know, of course, is hardy through those colder temperatures. So a lot of turnip greens over here, and arugula, parsley. Been loving the parsley. And then I have not harvested the leeks yet. I'm just hoping that they'll get bigger, but it doesn't look like they are. It looks like they have matured and they are ready for me to pick them. So I'll put those in, I'm hoping, like a potato and leek soup. And this frisee here has just grown all through the summer. I planted that in the spring, and it's just kind of hanging on. It hasn't really taken off. I pick a little bit here and there for salads, but it hasn't bolted on me or anything like that. So I've been kind of impressed with the frisee. Now this is the fennel, and this is one of my fennel plants I left in here. I'm going to let it go to seed because I love to cook with the fennel seed. And then I harvested, I think, 3 other fennel plants. They didn't get very big. I've harvested some nice big fennel before from the green stalks, but this year for some reason they just didn't get very big. And I just blanched it and put it in a salad. It really gave it a nice crunch. More nasturtiums that I've lost, and then of course right here, these are all turnip greens. I cooked a big pot of turnip greens. I think it was last week. They were wonderful, so good. These are the 7-top turnip greens, very tender. They don't produce the turnip root. Okay, and then here is the spinach. It's doing pretty good. Now I'm fertilizing now about once every 10 days. I'll just use mostly in this container garden a high nitrogen fertilizer versus the vegetable fertilizer where I want things to flower. Like peppers and tomatoes, I'll use a vegetable fertilizer, but right now I'm just using a water-soluble, all-purpose fertilizer for the greens. Okay, and then some scallions, the little green onions. I'm just letting them get really big. What I've been using those for is jerk marinade. Love it. Love jerk chicken. So I'll just pick one of these real big ones, put it right there in the marinade. And I have a video on how I make jerk chicken. So good with soy sauce, ginger, hot peppers that I have in my freezer that I harvested. Just really good. And then lots of arugula, eating an arugula salad every single day. And if you can find this French crisp lettuce seed, Batavia is the type it is. If you can find that, make sure you get it for next year so that you can plant this too. It's going to be probably my favorite lettuce now to grow. Okay. Okay, more spinach over here. This spinach here is doing great. It's really good. Huge leaves. Been throwing this again in the salads and in egg drop soup. Okay. Sorry, the geese are just so loud. And then here is where I have my sweet potatoes. Now I harvested my sweet potatoes and I ended up with almost 15 pounds of sweet potatoes. So they were all purple. Well, I think I had one tier that had a couple of orange ones in it. And a lot of them ended up pretty skinny. I think that's from what I read, over-watering perhaps. Maybe I should have held off on the watering of the sweet potatoes. But now, what's in here is I planted 3 tiers of garlic and 2 tiers of shallots. So those are not up yet. I waited until after we had a really good freeze, and then I popped those garlic cloves in there, about 3 inches down. This is the original planter. And by the way, remember, you can get $10 off a GreenStalk if you use my code rainbowgardens at checkout, and go through my link please, that way I'll get credit for it. And I'll leave my link down below the video as well as right here in this video, but you can't click on the one in the video, but you can certainly go down in the description box and click on that. And like I said before in one of my videos, just loving the little spinner. This is the spinner base with the wheel kit. Just loving those. Really, really like it. And I up-potted my sweet bay laurel. Little bush here. And now it has a new home. So hopefully it will do a lot better. I've had it in the garage. I've had this forever. I've had this plant forever. It started from just a tiny, tiny propagation. And it just has done great. I've neglected it so much. So I'm so surprised. One thing about the bay leaves, if you grow it, you want to make sure you're getting sweet bay laurel and not California laurel, which is much, much more resinous, and you wouldn't want to cook with that unless you want to have a pine taste in your mouth. So these bay leaves is sweet bay laurel. That's what you want to grow for cooking. And then the rosemary, made some wonderful rosemary rolls yesterday, or over the weekend actually. And I drowned those in garlic sauce, like minced garlic and olive oil. They're so good with like lasagna, just really, really good. So there goes some more leaves off of my beautiful sugar maple tree. It is so pretty this time of year, but a lot of the leaves have fallen, but I just love this time of year. It's so beautiful. Anyway, thanks so much for stopping by. If you watched this video all the way to the end, I appreciate it. And y'all have a beautiful day.